Hello, and welcome to all of our viewers here in Neepawa, Manitoba, and right across Canada. This is NACTV Reads the News. My name is Jackie Snyder, and today I am reading the Neepawa Press of Wednesday, January the 4th. So I hope all of our viewers had a wonderful Christmas, New Year's, and did lots of celebrating and visiting, and I hope that 2017 is going to be great for everyone. On the front page, let's go to the pictures first of all. Do you want to build a snowman? Heavy snowfall through December provided the perfect opportunity for area kids to show off their snowman making skills. So clockwise from the top, this large snowman is almost as big as the house it sits in front of. And I've heard several people comment on that snowman. It's really spectacular. And just below, this snowman features all of the classic components: carrot nose, button eyes, and branches for arms. And then just beside that, this multicultural snowman flies both the Canadian and Filipino flags. Okay, the story on the front page by Kate Jackman Atkinson, Pals Across the Ages. This year, young and old will share the joy of sending and receiving letters thanks to a partnership between HAND and the Neepawa Guiding Unit. Starting in January, the 22 girls in Sparks, Brownies, and Girl Guides will be partnered with an area senior for a new pen pal program. Each month, the pen pals will write to each other, sharing stories about themselves, their hobbies, and their lives. Jeannie Barnaby of HAND explains that she has been hoping to start a pen pal program with area youth for a while, but it never seemed to get going. The idea of partnering with the guides came after the girls made hand color placemats, which were used at one of the congregate meals. The seniors were thrilled with the placemats and appreciated the girls' efforts. From that partnership, I contacted guide leader Kay Diath about the possibility of working on the pen pal program, said Barnaby. The program will begin this month with the seniors writing first. The letters will be placed in a special mailbox in the HAND office by January 15th. From there, the seniors and the girls will be matched, and the girls will write back in the second half of the month during their weekly meetings. Barnaby and Diath decided to have a special topic each month to help guide the writing. Topics include where you grew up, hobbies and likes, what life was or is like growing up, pets, 4-H participation, favorites, toys and games, places you have visited, and your career. In June, all of the participants will get together for a picnic and a chance to visit in person. Diath is excited about the program and explains that this will be the first year they have partnered with seniors, though for the last 4 years, the Girl Guides have been writing to another guide group in Australia. For the Brownies, the exchange will help them achieve a specific pen pal badge, and for the guides, the program will help them achieve their writing badge. The program is expected to be a benefit to both groups. Barnaby explains that for the seniors, it's a chance to send and receive letters, an activity many of them enjoy, as well as giving them the chance to share it says here change, but it should be chance, I'm thinking, as well as giving them the chance to share their stories and interact with others. Diath added that since many of the seniors don't have family close by, the program gives them a chance to connect with younger generations, and the girls learn from the seniors. Barnaby is still looking for seniors who'd like to participate, and while they'd ideally like 22, Diath said that they can extend the program to include the 7 Pathfinders if they get enough seniors. Anyone interested in participating can contact Barnaby through the HAND office at 204-476-2726 2009 or by email at handsup@wcgwave.ca. Okay, moving on to page 2. This is the Looking Back section, research by Cecil Pittman. 80 years ago, Tuesday, January the 5th, 1937, the Board of Trade advises the general public of a bylaw of the town of Neepawa having been duly passed. All retail businesses, concerns in the town, garages and confectionaries excepted, will close at 12 noon on Thursday, January the 7th, 1937, and every Thursday thereafter throughout the year, with the exception of December. And 70 years ago, Thursday, January 2nd, 1947, the only musical instrument that may be increased in size is the pipe organ, an outstanding example being the one in the chapel of the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. When installed in 1911, it contained 2,418 pipes and cost $12,000. But today, through memorial contributions made in the names of graduates, it has become the largest church organ in the Western Hemisphere, containing 13,529 pipes and being valued at $150,000. So that was 70 years ago. 60 years ago, Thursday, January 3rd, 1957, the rinks skipped by Johnny Chappell and Doug Hawken captured top honors in the finals of the first men's bonspiel of the 1956-57 season, completed at the Neepawa Curling Club rink. The Chappell foursome were extended to the limit to edge George Savesco's rink from Franklin 7-10 in a dramatic final to win premier prizes in the first event. When Doug Hawkins' rink registered a decisive victory over Clarence Martin's rink in the second event final. And 50 years ago, Friday, January 6, 1967, remote starting devices for vehicles can be used legally in Manitoba. Honorable Stuart E. McLean, QC, Minister of Public Utilities, said that after careful review of the relevant sections of the Highway Traffic Act, the departmental staff and law officers of the Crown concluded that remote control starting devices being manufactured and sold in Manitoba can be used without directly contravening the provisions of the Act. 40 years ago, Thursday, January 6, 1977, the Village of Eden now has a new water system, thanks to a lot of hard work and planning on their behalf by their Local Improvement District, LID, board. LID board members and their project initiator, Harry Smithson, said that in an interview that Eden now has a source of softer, better water for the town waterworks. He said the old water source was hard water with a high alkaline content. And 30 years ago, Thursday, January 8, 1987, Neepawa's most famous daughter is dead at the age of 60. Internationally renowned author Margaret Lawrence succumbed to cancer at her Lakefield, Ontario home last Monday. She was the author of such critically acclaimed and at times controversial novels as The Stone Angel, 1964, A Jest of God, 1966, The Fire Dwellers, 1969, A Bird in the House, 1970, and The Diviners, 1974. And finally, we're going to just end it with 20 years ago. Monday, January 7th, 1997, Neepawa's Access 12 community cable channel is counting on program changes, including the implementation of advertising to keep it out of the red ink. Financially, we're still running in the black, said Ivan Trail, chairman of the local community cable channel and vice president of the Westman Cable Board, but we are running right on the edge and we have to do something about that. Access 12 plans to do two things about that. Stage an amateur talent night in the hopes of raising $10,000 and take in paid advertising. Okay, moving on. I'm now on page 3, and this is the opinion page. MPI, which would be Manitoba Public Insurance, unveils top 5 frauds of 2016. So I'm just going to jump in and start at number 1, smile, you're on camera. Thanks to the keen investigative skills of an SIU investigator, a fraudulent bodily injury claim was discovered, saving Manitoba Public Insurance and its ratepayers more than $15,000. The pedestrian said he was hit by a car and injured and unable to work. The driver adamantly insisted there was no accident. With the 2 conflicting statements, the SIU investigator went to the scene and observed that several businesses had security cameras mounted on their buildings. After viewing footage from one of the cameras, the investigator was able to see the pedestrian approaching the parking lot. Clearly, there had been no collision between the vehicle and pedestrian. A seasoned collision reconstructionist who examined the footage and location also confirmed that there could not have been any contact between pedestrian and vehicle. The claim was subsequently denied. And number 2, luxury Porsche actually a lemon. Thanks to the cooperative relationship between the RCMP and Manitoba Public Insurance, a fraudulent auto theft claim of more than $20,000 was denied. The owner of a Porsche told his adjuster that the vehicle had been stolen from his apartment block parking lot in Winnipeg. A theft claim was opened. The story quickly unraveled after the RCMP noticed Manitoba Public Insurance, after the RCMP notified Manitoba Public Insurance that a badly damaged, vandalized Porsche had been located in a rural area a full day before the owner claimed his car had been stolen. During examination of the Porsche, it was discovered that the vehicle was in need of major mechanical repairs, which would have cost the owner several $1,000s. Based on the police information and pre-existing mechanical condition of the vehicle, the theft claim was denied. And number 3, wannabe Manitoban. All Manitoba residents are entitled to benefits under the Personal Injury Protection Plan, PIPP. Outside of the province, many insurance plans are structured differently and don't always provide the robust coverage available under Manitoba's no-fault injury compensation plan. Because of this, some individuals may try to claim they are Manitoba residents in order to receive PIPP benefits. A man was severely injured in the United States after being involved in a crash. His family claimed he had been visiting the U.S. and opened an injury claim with Manitoba Public Insurance. While processing the claim, the case manager received information from a number of agencies which confirmed the man had not lived in Manitoba for several years, making him ineligible for PIPP benefits. Presented with this information, the man's family withdrew their claim. Savings were estimated to be in excess of $500,000. And number 4, case of a guilty conscience. After a number of unusual details came to surface, a father and son were asked to give a statement to an SIU investigator about the theft of a pickup truck. During the interview, the son made a surprising offer to write a promissory note to Manitoba Public Insurance for nearly $11,000 damage costs. The son then declined to discuss his financial generosity. However, the facts spoke volumes. The father, who was the registered owner, stated the truck had been stolen from his residence. One day after the reported theft, the same truck rear-ended another vehicle and fled the scene with several people witnessing the crash. And the last one, number 5, the accident that wasn't. 2 vehicles collide and are badly damaged. This happens every day in Manitoba, but a number of unusual details surfaced during the investigation of this specific collision. It was discovered these 2 individuals knew each other and their vehicles were both in poor running condition. A seasoned traffic reconstructionist testified that this crash was no accident but a staged collision. One driver pleaded guilty to fraud over $5,000. He received a 2-year suspended sentence with supervised probation, 100 hours of community service work, and a restitution order of $17,000 to repay Manitoba Public Insurance. The second driver, who was also charged with fraud over $5,000, did not appear in court. A warrant for his arrest has been issued. Okay. I am now on page 4. Souris-based company ready to take out the trash, and this is by Owen Devereaux. The new company in charge of Neepawa's garbage and recycling collection is looking forward to establishing itself within the community. MWM Environmental, formerly Municipal Waste Management Limited, has been awarded the municipal contract for the next 3 years, 2017 to 2019, with an option for a possible 2-year extension of the contract. The previous agreement with TAC Ventures of Neepawa expired December 31st. In a previous article, new company taking over garbage collection on Friday, December the 30th edition of the Neepawa Banner, Neepawa Mayor Adrian DeGroot said MWM Environmental offered the town the widest variety of options at the best rate over a shorter term. MWM Environmental General Manager Tim Oliver stated via media release that over the past few years, the Souris-based company has established itself in a number of rural Manitoba communities and is looking forward to doing the same in Neepawa. We have grown rapidly in the last 2 years, primarily by offering our fellow Manitobans a variety of state-of-the-art services that they previously did not have access to, and by doing it at a very reasonable cost. Each new community that we've started working with has had a specific set of wants and needs, and we've been diligent in customizing our services to match, said Oliver. These factors, combined with our commitment to hiring locally whenever possible and to supporting local businesses and charities, are the secret to our growth. We take pride in providing great service to our customers because they are also our neighbors, family, and friends. As for concerns surrounding the out-of-town company not using area businesses for services such as vehicle repairs, Oliver stressed in the release that there is no reason to think that MWM Environmental will take as much as $1 out of the local economy. In fact, we estimate that the net effect to the local economy will be very much a positive, in part because we have more than one service provider available. Typically, I'm going to read that again. In fact, we estimate that the net effect to the local economy will be very much a positive, in part because having more than one service provider available typically drives down the cost of services like waste removal, which benefits everyone, Oliver said. We also rely heavily on local businesses for mechanic work, fuel, and all the supplies related to the work we do. Oliver also noted that they have already hired 2 full-time Neepawa residents to operate their equipment and perform the work as required in the contract, and that they're in the process of seeking a local shop from which to operate their trucks and equipment. It is expected that search will be completed within the coming weeks. Okay, so just below that, young curlers take advantage of a chance to train with champions. So I'll read the caption first of all. 17 curlers from across the region took part in a 2-day curling clinic with top curlers, Connor Negevin and Matt Dunstone. And this is a submitted article. Last month, the Neepawa Curling Club hosted a very successful 2-day curling camp. Christine Pedersen of the Neepawa Curling Club contacted Connor Negevin, program and event assistant at Curl Manitoba, to let him know that they were interested in hosting a 2-day curling camp. Negevin, who curled a season or two with Jeff Stoughton in 2014-15, and teammate Matt Dunstone in 2013 Canadian Junior Men's Champion and bronze medal winner at the 2013 World Junior Championships, came to Neepawa December 3rd and 4th. The two curlers worked with a group of 17 kids between the ages of 11 to 14. The event attracted young curlers from not just the Neepawa area, but also from Binscarth, Russell, Carberry, Erickson, and Onanol. Young curlers are now getting ready for the Neepawa Club's January 22nd Youth Bonspiel. Anyone looking for information about that event or to enter can call Jeff Cook at 841-3309. Check out the Neepawa Curling Club's Facebook page for more information and photos of their latest activity at the rink as they prepare for one of their busiest months. And lastly, on page 4, hair donated in support of cancer patients. On December 10th, 11-year-old Tonis Ignacio cut 14 inches of her hair to donate to the Canadian Cancer Society. The grade 5 student hadn't cut her hair since arriving in Canada on September 26, 2013. Ignacio loves to have long hair, but wanted to give something back to the country and community who embraced newcomers like her and her family. The donation was taken to Mary Ellen Clark at Neepawa Health Center, who will send it off. Tonis Ignacio on the left and Leanne Cramond of Serenity Hair and Body Studio in Neepawa. They are the ones that are featured in the picture. Okay, now on page 5, the sports page. So Neepawa Natives Week in Review. Neepawa Natives 6, Swan Valley Stampeders 2. Woohoo, that's a good one. So that was, doesn't say, not zeroing in on the date of that game, but this Friday there is a game at Selkirk. On Sunday there is a game at Winkler. And Friday, the following Friday, January 13th, versus the Dauphin King at the Yellowhead Center at 7:30. And then they're back to Selkirk on Sunday, January 15th. So I'm not sure. I think this might be the game that's noted here might be the December 30th game. Anyways, there's in the caption under the picture, Peyton Malcolm, number 17, pursues Noah Basarab of the Swan Valley Stampeders during Neepawa's final game of 2016. The natives would win that contest by the score 6-2. And just below that, Neepawa Adam Tournament of Champions. And so in the picture, the Steinbach Millers closed out the 2016 Tournament of Champions as the A-side champions. And the story is by Owen Devereaux. 10 teams from across the province will compete in the 2017 edition of the Neepawa Adam Tournament of Champions. The event will feature a total of 21 games played over the span of 4 days at the Yellowhead Center. Along with the host club from Neepawa, teams from Boissevain, Carberry, Carman, Dauphin, Grand Plains, Hartley, Reston, Portage, Shoal Lake, Birtle, and Souris will participate. The round-robin portion of the tournament begins on Thursday, January the 5th. The Neepawa natives Adams taking on the Dauphin Kings Adams. Opening face-off for that game is scheduled for 4:30 p.m. Neepawa will play its next round-robin game at 1:45 on Friday, January 6th against Grand Plains. The A-side championship final will occur on Sunday, January the 8th at 2:15. And just to the right of that, Farmers win 6th straight. This is by Owen Devereaux. The Neepawa Farmers closed out 2016 with an important 5-1 win over the Minnedosa Bombers. The victory was Neepawa's 6th straight and moved the team into a tie for first place in the Tiger Hills Hockey League's Eastern Division. The Farmers, along with the Carberry Plainsmen, now share top spot with identical 8-4-0 records. Minnedosa is close behind with a record 7-3-0. The game, played on Friday, December 23rd in Minnedosa, featured 5 different scorers for the Farmers: Ward Susky, Cam Tibbett, Matt Lowry, Kyle McDonald, and Devin Speece all contributed goals in the win. Nolan Speece, meanwhile, provided 3 assists in the effort. Minnedosa's leading scorer, Matt Saylor, 15 goals, 10 assists, potted the lone goal of the game for the home side. Entering 2017, the Neepawa Farmers have just 6 games remaining on their regular season schedule. The first of the new year will be on Sunday, January 8th, when the Farmers travel to Pilot Mound to challenge the Pilots. The next home game for Neepawa will be on Wednesday, January 11th, as the Gladstone Lakers will face the Farmers. The start time for that game at the Yellowhead Center is set for 8 p.m. Okay, on to page 8. And this is a Rick Sparling column. Okay, so we are now on page 6, and this is Rick Sparling's column. This feature by local author and sports historian Rick Sparling attempts to locate and catch up with the teams featured in Sparling's most recent book, Amateur Hockey in Neepawa, a Scrapbook. And it says local author Rick is no longer local. He lives in Winnipeg, but he certainly did emanate from Neepawa. So where are they now? 1958-59 cheerleaders. For the 1958-59 school year, 8 girls from West Park School, and I do believe these 8 girls, because I was in their class, were in Viscount School at that time, not West Park School, took part in the cheerleading team. Betty Kosmolak was born in Minnedosa but moved to Neepawa in her early teens. After graduating from NACI, she attended St. John's College, University of Manitoba, and then moved to Toronto to marry Jim Termersh. They had 2 sons, Andrew and Graham. After her divorce, Betty worked in administration for 2 universities, York University in Toronto and Royal Roads University in Victoria, BC. She moved there in 1991 to be closer to her mother and sister. She, Andrew, and her mother moved to Cumberland, BC, a charming little village in the forest close to her 2 grandsons. She now lives in the former Anglican rectory in Cumberland and promotes art and artists. And Jean Hutton Bradley married and has 2 children and 4 grandchildren. She worked for 35 years with hay decorating commercial contractors and is now semi-retired. Jean enjoys travel and has a soft spot for abused animals and has 4 little dogs at home who get lots of attention. Jean resides in Winnipeg. Margie Crooks Blaschuk is married and has 3 sons and 5 grandchildren. She worked for 13 years in the private workforce and the last 20 years until 2005 with the government in accounting and administrative services for Manitoba Health. Margaret lives in the Grand Beach area. And Norma Lindsay married Fred Kosmolak, who passed away in 1984. Norma worked for the University of Manitoba in the engineering department, and she has 2 sons and 1 grandchild, and has retired in Winnipeg. And Cheryl Thurston is widowed and has 4 children, 5 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. She is retired and lives in Sydney, British Columbia. And Betty Lynn Wickett married Gary Ellman after leaving Neepawa and lived in Prince Edward Island for 4 years. They had 3 daughters and now 6 grandchildren and 1 great-granddaughter. She moved back to Neepawa and operated the Needle and Thread Sewing Center, and afterwards bought Martin's store and ran that as Stedman's department store for 30 years. Betty Lynn sold the store in 1999 and spent many winters in Rio Grande Valley, Texas. She married Keith Strong in 2000, and he passed away in 2016. She continues to reside in Neepawa and likes to travel in her RV whenever possible. And Pat Martin worked in the mental health field and also practiced classical astrology for over 30 years. Patricia has 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. She has lived on both Canadian coasts and is presently living on the East Coast in a village on the Northumberland Strait called Tatamagouche in Nova Scotia. And Esther Mogensen married David Gooding and has 2 children and 2 granddogs, Harry and Lily. She is a member of Airbnb. Oh, I guess it's Air Bed and Breakfast, an international rental agency, and rents her home out to families from Australia, Mexico, England, etc., and recently rented to Ben Affleck's wife, actress Jennifer Garner, and currently to Kate Winslet. Esther's hobby is cooking. She spent 10 years as a volunteer cooking and teaching at the Salvation Army's shelter. She has lived for the past 35 years in North Vancouver on the waterfront. Okay, so moving on to page 7. And here's a good picture of all the snowbanks waiting for a ride, and this has to do with recycling. Recycling across Neepawa remained uncollected on Monday, January 2nd at 3:30 p.m. This is by the Banner staff. On January 2nd, Neepawa residents were left wondering what was going on with Monday's regularly scheduled recycling collection. As of 2:12 p.m., the town of Neepawa posted a message on its Facebook page that garbage and recycling collection would occur later in the week due to the transition with the new contractor. The previous contact, I think it's supposed to be the previous contract with TAC Ventures, ended on December 31st, and a new contract with Souris-based MWM Environmental was in place effective January 1st. In talking about the reason for the change, Neepawa Mayor Adrian DeGroot said MWM offered the widest variety of options as the town is considering a number of options, including doing collection work themselves. I'm just going to skip along here because we did cover this previously in Owen's article. Okay, maybe I'll continue. Based on that conversation, we didn't want to misguide anybody who would be tendering in order to say we're going to be upfront with you. We're reviewing this right now, so we wanted a short-term contract. We talked to our current contractor about those opportunities, and they weren't interested in discussing them. So then we thought, why don't we go out to tender rather than just renew the contract, which traditionally has been done. We thought, let's check with the marketplace, stated DeGroot. The local contractor in question, Jack Falk of TAC Ventures, said, at no time did the town talk to me about opportunities. About the new contractor MWM, de Groot said, MWM is a broad company, a global company. There is no doubt about it, they'll be able to do the job. MWM Environmental is actually not a global company, as Mayor de Groot has stated, but a Manitoba company. According to its website, the Souris-based business has been serving southwestern Manitoba for over 20 years and currently serves 13 Manitoba municipalities. So this is in the classified section. Not a whole lot of classifieds today, but there might be something of interest to you, again, on page 7. And the fun and games section is also on page 7. And finally, page 8, My Neepawa. Rob Taylor posted this photo to the Neepawa Press and Neepawa Banner's Facebook page with this message. Thanks to the Town of Neepawa crew, Al Durhack, Cristobal, and Dwayne Crandall for getting the outdoor rink at the Flats ready. Traveled from BC to finish Grandma Judy Taylor, to visit Grandma Judy Taylor, and skating outdoors will be a great memory for years to come. So that's a really great winter shot there. The dogs seem to be enjoying it too. Okay, that's it for reading from the Neepawa Press for today. We will be back again in a couple of days reading the Neepawa Banner. I think Kathy will be back doing that for you once again. And until then, have a great day. Bye for now.